Okay, Cherry Blossom Gang, we are back with another episode of Friday with Friends. Today, we have a rather awesome guest. I know, like people are like, yeah, you say that every week. I know, because I got awesome guests. What are you going to do? That's the whole point of you guys will be watching. So we have Howard Ullman of Havana Hemp Growers. Howard, I'm not gonna butcher your intro, so I'm gonna say, hey, tell us about yourself, your background, and what led you to starting Havana Hemp Growers.
Well, my background has always been in consumer products. I've been CEO of public companies before. I've been in the gift industry for 30 years, where I really cut my teeth in creating a product from start to finish. I had a gift company for a number of years where I actually was based in Hong Kong and sold 80 countries my products. So I'm used to exhibiting and doing all that kind of stuff. That gave me a lot of experience over the years to get into a new business like this and start something from scratch and just keep taking it to the next level.
I gotta applaud you, actually, because most people do not have the guts to make that kind of change.
Oh,
yeah. Especially after doing something for 30 years. It's almost like the mindset says, this is what I do. I don't do this. And you just kind of jumped out there and did something that was totally foreign to what you were doing.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I had gout for many years. Gout's a little ailment where basically a knuckle in your toe gets little crystals in it and you can't walk. You cannot bend that toe. Uric acid crystals. And somebody told me to take CBD to help me sleep. This is 5 years ago. So I took the CBD and in 3 weeks I wasn't limping anymore.
What?
And I said, honey, my gout's gone.
What?
And it was the CBD oil, because a year later, my wife said, it wasn't that oil. I changed your diet. So I got off the oil, and within 2 or 3 weeks, I couldn't walk again. So I started taking the CBD. I'm cured again. And I said that day, I want to get in this business. I want to help other people like myself. But unfortunately, the tincture oil space got very, very crowded. Yes. And that's when I decided, after 2 years doing that, I wanted to do something different. And so that's how Havana Hemp came along.
That's awesome. You don't know how inspirational that is this week. Looking at your website, you have all the high moving products, or I say products that people are actually looking for. Tell our audience about your product offerings and what your best movers are.
Well, in the summer of 2019, before that time, everything was just hemp. We were doing some flower. Our hemp cigars were popular. And that's it. It was a very limited line. Then in 2019, the summer of 19, I'm up in Nashville, and one of my partners calls me and says, hey, have you heard of Delta 8? And I said, no. This is when it first got discovered. And he sent me some gummies. And I ate some gummies, and I said, oh my God, this is unbelievable. So I quickly, as quick as I could, created a line of about 10 items, created a display, took them to South Florida, and literally got in 150 stores within a month. They had never even heard of it. This is right when it was discovered. And if I tell you, I'm still in those stores today, and we are just blowing out merchandise. So it was just a function of, what can I get in these stores with this Delta 8 that will sell? And it's like anything. So of course I did flour, I did carts, I did pens, I did gummies, and that was about it. That was enough. And then this year, actually the other day, we just introduced, here, I'll do it this way, a new line of chocolate.
Whoa.
Unbelievable chocolate. Delta 8 chocolate.
Oh my
those two killer displays. So basically, we've got 7 chocolates that are dark white and milk, of course. But then we have an antioxidant chocolate with 5 of the top berries, including acai berry in it. We have a boost. Delta 8 is a down. We wanted people to be able to take our chocolate and go out at night. So we have another one with coffee and maca root extract.
Okay.
Then we have one called Immunity with organic ginger, turmeric, organic lemon oil, and black pepper extract. And then we have a sleep one. Obviously, Delta 8, I get letters all the time from military guys. This is helping them sleep.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? This is a 50 milligram chocolate cube that not only has Delta 8 in it, but it's got melatonin, lavender, and chamomile.
Wow.
That's just going to help you sleep for a full 8 hours, you know?
Samples,
So
please.
we launched this. I launched this last week at the show and people went nuts. It's because number one, it's vegan, just like my gummies. But number two, it's sugar free. My gummies aren't. And there's a lot of people who can't eat my gummies because they have diabetes, right? My rep down here in South Florida, she can't eat a gummy and she'd love to. So we've got sugar free, but this sugar free isn't with stevia or any of that garbage. It's with monk fruit, a very sweet fruit that makes it taste non-sugar free. And lastly, it's even kosher. That's how well this is made. There is nothing bad in this product. There's nothing artificial in this product. It's all organic. And I tell you, these chocolates taste like a sugar chocolate, but they're not. So I think it's going to be a really big hit because we've had a lot of people ask us for a sugar-free product. And believe it or not, down here in South Florida, along Miami Beach, there are a lot of Jewish people that have been asking me for over a year for a kosher gummy. And now we got him a kosher chocolate.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny because like you've been hearing about that. We've been hearing about this monk fruit. I'm a chef by trade, so I kind of understand, your process a little bit. How is there any sort of like alternate taste or like texture that you're getting from it?
No, you cannot tell it's sugar free. Not at all.
Wow.
It tastes like a sweet piece of chocolate.
And like some of the major drawbacks I hear from some other makers about making sugar-free edibles, candies, is that it costs so much more to do the sugar-free than the regular sugar, and the end customer sometimes don't want to pay the difference.
Yeah, that may be true, but the good news is we're making this chocolate ourselves in-house with very sophisticated machinery so that we can make about 65,000 squares an hour. So we have big production. Which helps us on price. But I'll tell you, a lot of my products are just a tad more money than everybody else's. And there's one reason, because I make mine stronger than everybody else's. My flour, like the stores here in South Beach, they get customers every day that walk in and you know what they're saying to that store owner? Hey man, you got weed? And you know what my stores say? Actually, we do. We got better than weed. Come look. Because I double spray my Delta 8 flour, and some of it actually is a higher percentage than the weed you can buy in our local dispensary. To give you an idea, I have Moon Rocks. They are 649 milligrams per gram. That is 64% D8.
Wow.
Knock you out.
Yeah.
But this is what the consumer wants, so this is what we give them. And, and that's why we tend to have pretty much the most potent products out of each category, which does make them a little more expensive because D8's a commodity. The more you put in it, the more it's going to cost. But yet we're still well priced.
What's your personal favorite?
Well, if it's a smokable.
I love the t-shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. If it's a smokable, it's got to be what won me this big dog trophy. Best temp wrap in the country at CBDIO with a big stogie with a big wood tip on it. So we came out with cigars in 17. They were just hemp. But once 19 came along, then we came out with Delta 8 cigars. So for example, this is a hemp cigar under 0.3%. This is the same cigar in size, 600 milligrams.
Wow.
A 600 milligram cigar. This is our.
Is that on the flower? Or is that on the actual exterior of the?
And we have a pearl of milligrams, and then we have a.
Is that on the flower or is it the actual exterior of the cigar?
Well, no, that 600 milligrams just represents how much D8 is inside this cigar, the flower in the cigar.
The flower in the cigar, right, okay.
Yeah, it's a total of 600 milligrams.
Okay.
Then we have a 400 milligram perla And then we have a 200 milligram little cigarella that looks like a Black and Mild, but boy, it's got a punch a lot more than a Black and Mild. It's 200 milligrams. So those are my favorite smokables. And if you were to ask me about edibles, it would probably be this newest one right here. It looks like cheese.
Yeah.
But it's not. This is the immunity that's got, just the greatest products in it. But this was the #1 most popular requested chocolate at the show last weekend. Everybody wanted to try it.
It's more like, it's not even a coated chocolate per se. It's more like a coconut butter base, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, this is chocolate literally made from scratch, where the cacao is coming from South America.
That's what I'm talking about.
We are making the whole process from scratch, because I have a 3rd generation chocolatier who's been doing chocolate since he was 14, and he's 45 now. And I knows how to make chocolate. I mean, his family's been making chocolate for a long, long time, and it just tastes amazing. You have no idea it's sugar-free. So those would be my favorites.
I love it. So let's go back on these. Let's say the D8, you have some D8 cigarettes, and you showed your cigarellos. So a cigarello is basically just a small cigar, like almost like if you don't want a huge thing, kind of like a short term, I guess, if you will, hour-long cigar.
Well, we do hemp cigarettes in both types. We obviously had hemp cigarettes years ago, but our hemp cigarette is different than everybody else's hemp cigarette. This is our little 20-pack right here. The difference between our hemp cigarette and anybody else's is one thing: we don't use biomass.
Okay,
we use bud.
That's what I'm talking about.
You look inside one of my cigarettes, and it's a little dark. You can't tell. It's green. I can tell you every other cigarette manufacturer uses biomass, or one big company is using biomass that's already been extracted. That means there is absolutely nothing in that but fiber. I don't want to be smoking fiber. When you hit my QR code on this pack, it says 0.3% Delta 8. It is right on the limit of the legal limit, which tells you we had to use bud, because even biomass and crap wouldn't show up that way. We use green bud. I grind it up, and then I send it to the packer, so I know what's in my cigarette. Excellent. But now we've come out with a Delta 8 cigarette. And so this beautiful baby, again, we use an all hemp wrap, an all hemp filter, which is why my filter, everything is healthy. This is a 60 milligram cigarette. So you will get high off this cigarette. And so what we do is we have a single pack and a 10 pack, and we put them in little displays so that people can try one,
right? And
then they can move up to the bigger pack.
That makes sense.
Great item.
That's a really smart. I was wondering, because I don't see a lot of Delta 8 products here, so I kind of wondering if they came in 20-pack like regular cigarettes, but it does make sense they come more of a 10-pack.
I actually do have a Delta 8 20-pack as well.
And people power through these in like a day or something, or like
no way, no. That 20-pack will last you a week.
Okay, that makes sense.
I could smoke a couple a day, probably.
My God, I was like, so what? Havana Hemp Cigars is the name of the company. You offer D8 in several forms. It does seem that, like you said, you have some brands of cigars that are strictly hemp. I have, it's funny because cigars are similar, like they come and go. Like they have a resurgence, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then we're sort of having that moment again here. I just heard Cam Newton, I think, has a cigar bar in Atlanta. This is sort of happening again. Are you seeing like these types of businesses are reaching out to you?
Yeah, I am seeing that. And, remember, ours is also a little different. It's not tobacco. Ours you do inhale. So, we're getting to the cigar guy, but we're also getting to the partier who sees this cigar as, oh my God, how high am I going to get smoking that big thing?
Right.
So we're getting both sides. We are now private labeling for a company, for instance, out of Atlanta that is golf oriented. So
Smart.
there's a lot of cigars on the golf course, and we're now bringing hemp cigars. And he actually did some regular hemp cigars and some Delta 8 cigars. Obviously, the guys smoking those Delta 8 cigars aren't going to shoot too well a couple of holes down the road.
And you would think that like people would drink less with these, like because cigars and wine, cigar and spirits go very well together. You would think that you wouldn't need as much alcohol.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, very interesting product. I have a potential client for you if you're he's doing some stuff here locally, but I told him I was talking to you and that we have like, we talked a little bit, but I said, once I feel him out and I make sure that you guys are right master one another, yeah, but I'm definitely putting you guys. Awesome. You get more business already in one day. It's crazy.
There you go.
I'm not gonna take up your whole Friday. I got a couple more questions for you. What's the one thing you want people to take away from this interview with you and about Havana Hemp?
Well, I think really what most people recognize about Havana Hemp is really quality. That is what we are all about. Very much into having products that are organic, that don't have artificial flavorings or colorings, but are potent as well. We know what people are buying hemp and Delta 8 for. The same reason they're going to a dispensary. So we really try and mimic our products to be as strong or stronger than marijuana, which now gives people the ability to partly in states that it's not legal.
And are you most of your businesses in those states where have legal?
So we're really in a tree that's literally making an authentic Cuban rolled cigar. Wow. The chocolates are off the hook, a fantastic new item. So we're always trying to create new products ahead of the market and let them follow us, which is what a lot's been going on the last year. Every time I come out with a new display, boy, I see that display a few months later. Every time I come out with a new product. But some of the products like this cigar, it's not so easy to knock off. So it gives us that niche that we've managed to keep for a couple of years now. And I think this chocolate's pretty unique too. It'd be hard for anybody to copy that because it's something that the guy making this stuff has been doing it for his whole life. And there is a technique to make good tasting chocolate.
No doubt.
Especially if you're putting D8 in it.
Otherwise,
it's gotta taste good.
That is the truth. What is well, you kind of told me just now, like what the future, like you're always looking for new products. You guys are going to keep adding on. You're not really sort of like staying in. We've decided to niche ourselves, and we did all the stuff in the bottles, and now we're just going to like vapable and dabble extracts. But you're sort of started going the other way. You started with a niche and sort of branching out into other things, which I think is really, really cool. What?
Yeah, it is funny.
Is this planned for you guys, or
say again?
Anything else planned for you as far as any other new products, or are you kind of staying here and pumping the brakes for a while and rolling?
Yeah, I think we're okay for now because the chocolate's really a big line because we also have a CBD chocolate line as well as a Delta 8 chocolate line, and probably 50 SKUs in Delta this year. Our job now is to get it everywhere in the country, and I go to shows religiously every couple of weeks. I just did Fort Lauderdale. Next March 28th, I think I'm in Hickory, North Carolina.
Hey,
June I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we try and stay out there and meet more and more people.
You guys are doing good, man. I could tell by the way that you talk about your products, the way that the buzzwords that you use, and then they're not just buzzwords for you. Like you actually believe them. You're actually putting love and care into your products. And you can tell, and not that you don't have an interest in making money, like we all do. And there's no shame in that. But there are some people here who are just for the quick buck, and you can tell that you're not exactly one of those people. Like you actually care about it.
As a matter of fact, what really makes me feel good is I've had numerous letters from military guys about our gummies that a few of them have actually said it has saved their lives, that it's taking the stress away, the PTSD, that they can hang around. There's a lot of suicide out there from our vets, and I've got a lot of vets on our products, and it's really helping them. So that makes me feel good. We're not just selling products to young kids to go party. We're selling a lot of product to older people. that are taking these to sleep and for anxiety and for pain.
I'm just glad that we like companies like ourselves are here and give these vets another option that definitely wasn't available to them, for the past God knows how many decades until just a couple of years ago. So, I mean, I'm speaking that from a veteran. I'm telling you, thank you on behalf of all of us. So, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, we end this by giving you what we call a shameless plug. So, you got like a minute to tell us anything that that you're excited about. You push your new products, a promo code, direct people to your website, give them your phone number, whatever you want to do. But you got it, man. Howard, you're on the clock.
Well, thanks, Lawrence. It's really been a pleasure talking to you today. You're doing great work yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I would like all your listeners to come see our products at www.havanahempcigars.com, and feel free to use promo code WELCOME20, which is a one-time 20% discount for anybody coming to the website. We would love to see them there and check out all these different products and give us a shout and let us know what you think.
Howard, these guys are doing great work. Havana Hemp Cigars. Welcome 20 is your promo code. Use it. Give this guy some business. You seem to be, the way you're talking, not that you don't need the business, but you're doing well. But that is a sign that people are appreciating what they are doing. So go down there, get on that website. If you're in Florida, go on. I don't know if you guys got a storefront or what. I'm telling you, go on.
No storefront. We get calls every day. Where's your store?
Where's
and
your
we just lead them to the nearest store.
If I find myself in Florida, man, I'm going to come check you out. We're going to go have a cocktail and one of those cigars, okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Hey, you have a great day. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. Howard, thank you for spending time with us today. We certainly appreciate it. You've definitely given us some great information, and I hope this works out as far as people like digging your website for some quality American-grown, organically processed hemp in cigar form, in cigarette form, in gummy form, in chocolate form. All right.
Very good.
All right, brother.
Thanks a lot.